Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, we'll try again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am happy to see you. Can I ask a favor before we get going? This is the favor I want to ask. What is probably most important for you to have today is something that is intangible but very critical, and that's your attention. So if you have a phone or any such device which you really like, you will not be needing said device. You can put the device on silent, you can put it off. Just let's try to get it out of the way. I know it's hard these days. You know, I go to play something and I'm like, okay, give me your phones, and people begin to shout. You know, so yes, you don't need your phone for anything. There's nothing you need your phone. I hope you have notebooks too. Fantastic. And even if you don't have notebooks, don't worry. Just don't. So you're very quiet, and I don't like it. Can everyone be upstanding, please? I think it's this cloudy morning. Everyone upstanding. We're going to play a little game. So we're going to start. We're going to start there. Yimika, we're starting with you. Okay? Okay? Yeah. After Yimika, Daniel, you're next. We go this way. We go to Shola. We come this way. Yes? Yeah. We come to David. Then we hit you. And then we come here. So, again, you're the last. Okay. You know the last shall be the first. It's okay. So this is the game. We're going to tell a story. We're going to tell a coherent story. We're all together going to tell one story. You might have played this game. So you're going to start, and these are the rules. I'll tell you the rules. Number one, you are not to tell a story all by yourself. 1 or 2 sentences, very, very brief. That's your contribution. Okay? And then the next person takes over. Again, 1 or 2 sentences, contribution. Let it work together. At any point it's incoherent, there's a failure. That's a point of failure. So whoever brings that up sits down. Number 1. Number 2, if you hesitate between the last person and you, so you know, and I'm not going to buy that or whatever filler word you use, that means you're out of the game. Number 3, none of our contributions to the story can be self-referential. So I cannot say I went to or we went to. You see my point? Yeah. It's not self-referential. We're telling a story, and the story is yes. Please come in, man. Yes. Good morning. Welcome. Yes, you're joining us right as we're about to start the game. Fantastic. So we're telling a story all together, one coherent story as a group. You have to follow through the story from the person before you and make sure it makes sense and do not hesitate. Does that make sense? Don't worry, we'll do a test round. So Yimika, I'm sure you've been thinking about it. Okay, let's start. So welcome everyone. I am happy to see you. We're starting a bit late. I hope there's some flexibility in the room in terms of timing. We're going to move quickly. But first, I want to share some thoughts. So first of all, thank you very much for making it. When you have, what's interesting for me is when you put out something that says Truth Series, it's a different kind of person you get. So I'd like to say thank you for being a seek out truth. I'd also like to say on that account that I am here for you. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you in any way I can. As we talk through the ideas we're going to be sharing, please feel free to reach out to me. We're going to ask questions here, but even offline, I'm here to help you in every way I can. Okay? And yes. So I want to start before I go on with a set of questions that I'd like you to answer. If you have a notebook, this will be a good time for the use of that notebook because you're going to be answering these questions for your own record. If you don't mind, I'd like to be able to read them, but if you don't want me to read them, I don't have to. And I may not want to. It's for you primarily. I want you to be able to look back on your answer to this question today in the future and see where you were as of today and at some point in the future where you are at that point. Okay, so those of you on Zoom, I'm sure you're getting the questions typed up. I will be reading the questions. So question number 1, what is truth? What is truth? Question number 2, why is it important? By that I mean, why is truth important? If it is important, why is it important? That's question number 2. Question number 3 is a reflexive question. You can't really answer that question if you answered 1 and 2, so don't even bother trying to look at that without answering 1 and 2. But 3 is, what are the implications of your answers to question 1 and question 2 to you? What are the implications of your answers to question 1? In answering this question, I want you to have a notebook, a piece of paper, whatever you're writing with. I want you to feel free to write. You can write a whole page. Definitely don't write just a sentence. I want you to write with the expectation that if this is read to a group of 100 people, average people in this country, they will understand what you wrote. They will be able to relate. They may not fully understand it, but they'll get it. So you can write up to a page, you can write half a page, you can write, but just the aim here is to be able to understand what you need. This is very important. Please avoid religious language. Do not quote me passages from the Bible or the Quran or quotable quotes that you heard somewhere. You have to actually speak like a normal human being that is communicating to another normal human being that has not been indoctrinated into anything anyway. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Feel free to think. Thinking is good. Those of you online, I hope you have the questions as well. I'll give you a few minutes to answer. Okay? So let's spend some time answering this question. If you need paper and you want me to give you paper, I can have it. Okay, paper please. And we can also get pens for people that need them. Anybody need more paper? We're happy to give you more paper. Extra sheets. Does anyone need more time? Okay, if you have finished answering the questions, please raise your hand. Let me take notes. Yeah, just keep your hand up so I take notes. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Who doesn't mind if I read the answer? Not out loud, just for mine. Does anyone not mind?
It's pretty short.
Okay, can I? Sorry?
So you may also understand merit.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So the answers are with you, they're in your books. You're going to want to refer to them. Isn't it interesting? When last did you try to answer this question? Have you ever tried to answer this question?
Yes.
Okay. So that's one person. Do you realize that most people do not ask this question? Do we all agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that should be shocking in itself. And then there's one thing to ask the question, and there's one thing to go for the answer. And then there's one thing to find the answer and say, I can tell you what truth is. Okay. So we're gonna explore this. But so number one is I'm not giving you an answer script. Okay, we're going to enter into a discussion. What I'll be doing this session this week, which I hope to build on next week, is I want to give you some context. I want to give you a map, and then once we have that map, we can begin to fill in the parts of the map. It will make sense. Okay? So today I want to explore a couple of ideas with you, and they're all building on one another. Before I get started with that, if you have questions, you can interrupt me. Just raise your hand. I'll call you. Otherwise, we have paper. I guess we can give paper now, please. Pieces of paper, you can write your question and pass it along. Right? You pass it along this way, and then I can get to it as I'm going. If you have questions online, please type your question on the chat box. You can type it in the general chat, or you can send it directly to the moderator, whichever you prefer. And we'll address that as we go along. Okay. Idea number one. Nothing is as it seems. Nothing is as it seems. The arrogance of mankind is that man thinks he knows. This is not an arrogance that is just at the level of the human race. This is an arrogance that you operate with every day of your life. Because you stand upright on 2 feet. Because you can build things. Because you can answer questions, you think you know. This arrogance has been compounded in the modern world because we have a standardized education system where information is pumped into people's minds in a systematic fashion, which makes them think they know. It creates an illusion of knowledge, but it's not true. And here is the reason why. You do not see things because they are there. You see things because your eye tells you that they are there. What I've just said now has profound implication. You are all looking at me. You are all listening to me. You think you are looking at me. You think you are listening to me. You are not looking at me, and you are not listening to me.
Okay. So.
How can you look at me? Think about it. How? What's happening that's making you think you can see me?
Eyes register an object.
The eye registers,
An object.
but it's registering an object. That is what you think. That's what you have concluded is registering. But what is actually registering in your eye? Yes, but what is registering? What does your eye pick up? Lights. Lights. Your eye picks up light, and your eye does something with that light. Your eye does not pick up light in a passive fashion, in the way light just goes through, a mirror, for example, and the mirror just picks the light. The mirror doesn't know anything. It just does with the light. It is faithful to the light. It does with the light whatever the light is. Whatever it's commanded to do, it does. If your hair is red that day, it has no choice but to register red. That is not the way your eye works. That is not the way your mind works. Your mind is your eye. You see because of your mind, not because of the eyeballs. These eyeballs are just aids, helpers, assistants in the process of your mind. Your eye registers light. Number one, your eye does something with the light and creates with that light an image. That image you register as an object. It is because your eye creates the image and because you are bound to your eye. I'm going to say some things that you should write down if you want to refer to this later. You are a slave of your eye. You cannot know what your eye does not tell you. You cannot know it if your eye does not tell you. You know it because you are told by your eye. Your eye is your commander. It commands you. It instructs you by telling you what is and what isn't. This is the leap that people then take. Because their eye tells them what is and what isn't, they think they know what is and what isn't. Do you see? The illusion is because you have an eye that can tell you something. If you had no eye that could tell you anything, then you would say, I don't know. But now you know something. And because you know something, you think you know something. If your eye tells you that there is a blazing fire heading for you, in all likelihood you begin to run. Right? What made you run?
Fire.
Is that what made you run? Your eye made you run. It was your eye that commanded you to run. But to you, okay, this is very simple. When you see a lunatic on the road dancing on their own without music and talking to the leaves, you say they are crazy. Why? Why do you say they're crazy?
Can't hear any music for once.
But would they be doing that if they were not hearing something? They are responding to their eye. The reason they are talking and answering someone is because someone is talking to them. But you don't see anybody talking to them. But because nobody talks to you, you think someone, when I'm talking to you, you think I'm talking to you, right? You think you are better than them.
I can see you.
You can see me. That is the issue. Because you can see me, you think you're better than them. But they are seeing and they're responding. We have a question. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to reverse. Don't forget where we are. I'm going to reverse. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. In our discussions over this week and the coming weeks, this is a no judgment zone. Okay? There is no judgment. I am not judging you. I hope you are not judging me. And I hope you are not judging one another. So please be free to express yourself, to express what you think. Be free. Does that make sense what I just said? Be totally free. If I say something that offends you, I want you to realize something. The fact that it offends you does not mean it is wrong. Does not mean it is incorrect. Doesn't mean it is not true. So I want you to take the posture of asking yourself, is it true? Not does it feel good? Make sense? Because it is offense that makes you unable to capture new ideas. Offense is stimulus, is negative stimulus that moves you away from an idea territory. You see what I mean? When a child is going around the house and then they go to the hot pots and they touch the hot pots, what do? They recoil, they cry because of the negative stimulus. Nobody needs to teach them that. And you try to teach them, but they don't understand it until they touch it again and then touch it again. And then, if they touch it enough times, whenever they see a pot, they will move in the other direction. Because pot means they are offended. That pot has offended them. So that idea territory, if in that pot is their future, they will not ever connect with their future. You see what I just said? Please, I beg you, let your priority be what is true. It is okay to be offended. And some of the things I will say over the coming weeks will offend you. But I want you to know that I don't know you enough to plan to offend you. I'm just speaking the truth. And if you are offended, take the approach that, okay, maybe there's something here. And there's something here that I have not been able to see because its circle is cordoned off by offense. You see what I mean? So, because I'm going to say some things, like I was saying last week. Okay, I'll give you an example. I was saying last week to a group of people, and I was saying, when I say you are wicked, don't be offended. Because I'm not calling your name and saying, okay, if I say this and this and this is wicked, and you fit into that category, don't be offended. You won't be the first wicked person, and you won't be the last.
No.
It's not a big deal.
How comforting.
But there's hope for you. So just realize it. We get offended because we judge, right? If I say you are crazy, you're like, how dare you say I'm crazy? So what's wrong with me? All the crazy people. So what do you think of them? So I want to make that point because that is that's an area where people often don't realize what's happening in their minds. Okay, so let's go back. You do not see me because I'm here. You do not hear me because I'm speaking. You see me because your eye is commanding you in the highest way you can command any creature. To command someone from the inside is the most potent way to command them. Your eye is your commander. It tells you, I am here. So you say, I am here with all the confidence in the world. But so the crazy guy that tells you Bigfoot is by his side is as sure as you are that I am here. He is as sure as that Bigfoot is by his side. What is the difference between you and him? You can't see Bigfoot. That's the difference. Well, I guess okay, imagine you were in two different continents and you are not looking at one another. I'm asking, what's the difference between these two pictures? I have one picture of you talking to someone. You look sane. You look prim and proper. Respectable. Then we have this picture of this guy who doesn't look quite okay. Right? Talking, but there's no one there. What's the difference?
Social conditions to believe because he appears to be speaking to no one is offensive. Whereas you could actually have a conversation with his imagination, which a lot of creative people tend to do. I do it a lot.
Okay.
So I can walk through my garden.
Yes.
I can be talking as I'm walking through my garden.
Yes.
Because I'm creating mental images.
Yes.
As I'm walking.
Right.
And sometimes it could be conversations with clouds.
Yes.
But I don't belong in Arrow because I said
So just to make clear to those online, the comment was, have we not been socially conditioned to just to classify those people as insane? Couldn't they just be having a conversation with their own imagination? Yes. So I'm going to pause there. Sir, your question.
Yeah, I was trying to understand how deep you when you talk about guys.
Yes.
The other senses, I can hear you,
Yes.
I can feel.
Yes.
So when you say the eye is in control,
Yes.
do you truly mean that, or you're talking about the senses?
Yes. So these little balls in your head are called the eye or your eyes, and that's correct. But they're really just a picture of your real eye. Okay? The real eye is not what's in here. Right? The real eye is invisible, it's inside. Okay? We'll call it your mind. Again, we could go into that and call it other names too, but just to start, it's your mind. Also your spirit. It's your mind. Okay? It's a flame. There is no difference between seeing and hearing, smelling or feeling. All those things are simply dimensions of seeing. They all converge on that one eye. So your eye smells and your eye sees. Your eye feels and your eye hears. So you hear with your eye. And this is going to be very clearer when I come to my second idea. The point I want to make is that we need to go for humility. Because everything you see and everything you hear, everything you think you know, you only know because you have been told. You do not know anything that you have not been told. And so when I see people go around and say, okay, you know, like Maslow's pyramid, like we know. We know a Maslow's pyramid, right? We know. How do you know? Or we know, of course, the planets are. You've never been to a planet. You've not even. But it's like the way people talk. You think they've been to space, toured all the planets, touched, and they're telling you planets like, you know, it's stuff we know. You were told. Even the stuff that is not interstellar, that is more local to you, the stuff you can touch or you think you can touch, stuff you can hear or you think you can hear, the stuff you can see or you think you can see, even that you are told because your eye is talking to you. It's your eye telling you. You don't see anything except what your eye is able to create. If we take the ability from your eye to create a certain thing or a certain dimension of things, you are unable to see those things. They can stare you in the face, but you will never see them because your eye cannot capture. That is the definition of what is invisible. What is invisible to you is what your eye is unable to capture. It is not within your visible range. And what is invisible to you, I'm not just talking about invisible things. I mean, most of the things you see are not tangible. You know that. Most of the things you see are not tangible. Right? That person is annoying. What's tangible about that? But you see it, you perceive it, and you talk about it like it's obvious when everybody gets it. A lot of what you see is not that. If your eye is poisoned, and your eye is poisoned a certain way, that is what you see. You are a prisoner of your eye. And I really want you to get this, because this only here does the journey to truth begin when you realize that your eye is a creative organ that is instructing you. You do not see it because it is there. You see it because your eye tells you it is there. The problem with not understanding this is that you struggle to engage with new ideas, truly new ideas. When an idea is truly new, it is invisible to you. Because if you were seeing it, it won't be new to you. People like ideas that are not new, but they think they like new ideas. You know the ideas that make you happy? They are the ideas that were always there, that are consistent with your eye, that your eye can pick up. Or when you are given ideas that your eye can pick up, you get agitated, you get disturbed. You say things like, you're not making sense. Make it practical. I don't like this stuff. It's not practical. It's not. Why is it not practical? It's not practical to you because your eye is unable to capture. Whatever your eye is able to capture is practical to you. Most of what you went to school to learn it's not practical tips and tricks. Right? Whatever you do right now as a career, as a profession, as a vocation, as whatever you do, at home, outside the home, is not predicated on a set of practical tips. It's predicated on an idea system that then informs what you do practically. Whatever you do as a vocation or profession, whatever you do even in the home, outside the home, is not, you don't do it because someone gave you a set of steps, actions. You own it because you have an idea framework that sponsors a set of actions.
Do you want to give an example?
Any example. And that's why you say somebody, people that can cook, for example, I don't really cook, but people that can cook will tell you, they tell me anyway, that you can go into the kitchen, they're cooking and you smell it like, I don't know, what did you add? Why did you? It's not because you let, a set of actions will not enable you navigate the intricacies of any moderately complex set of actions. Does that make sense? Driving a car, I can tell you to drive a car, hold the steering wheel, press on this. It's not hard. There's a pedal, there's the steering, there's the gear, that's it. How come you need bricks and weeks to learn to drive? Because you are internalizing an idea system that connects the way your hands and arms move, which you are now familiar with as a human being. If you need to connect this other thing called a wheel, and what degree of movement on that wheel translates into degree of tire movement on the road, and how your eyes register a degree of tire movement that's related to the way you move your hands. When you start driving, the hardest thing to do is to keep the car straight. How hard can you do to move the steering wheel and go straight? How hard? Why is it so hard? When you see someone that just learned to drive, they hold the steering wheel and it's always like, just stay. But they're trying to stay, they're not trying to move. So you realize that it then requires some sort of idea framework in the mind that is akin to walking straight in a straight line. But walking in a straight line is not doing nothing. It is doing so many things every moment to ensure that you stay straight against all the things working to keep you off the straight path. Air pressure, friction, whatever it is. Same with the car. You're constantly doing something, but you are doing it at a level that you are not even conscious of because you've internalized an idea for the message. Am I communicating? Yes. This is true for anything. If you don't have this, you don't own that thing. You see? Otherwise, all we need to do is just here's a set of actions to be a lawyer. Here's another set of actions to be. You learn an idea for more. Your eye is what determines what you see and what you do not see. And because it is what determines what you see and what you do not see, if you are not humble, you will not see what you have not been seeing. That is why many people say people don't change. Have you heard that before? Say people don't really change. Some of you might buy into that idea. You know why people say people don't change? Because they don't see people change. And you know why they don't see people change? Because people really don't. Not that they can't. They don't. And you know why they don't? Because they want to see what they can see. And that's it. They are not humble enough to know that they are blind. And it is in knowing that you are blind there is hope for you that you will see. What you already know is not what's going to change your life. What is going to change your life is this thing you don't know. They say what you don't know won't kill you. It is what kills you.
Yeah.
It is worse when there is the illusion of sight than it is when there is no illusion of sight. When we know we are blind, then we are hope. When we are deluded into thinking we can see because the eye is commanding us in a certain direction, then how do you help someone who thinks they can see? This is the problem with the human race. This is not a you problem, even though it may be a you problem, it is a we problem. Blindness, true blindness, real blindness, the blindness of the kind that we fight against, of the kind that is sad. It's not the inability to see anything. It is the ability to see. And to see a lot of things, but to see them very wrong. Because your eye is commanding you. Maybe as we go along this discussion, along this journey, I will talk more about the eye. What was Jesus' most common refrain? The most common statement Jesus made? Who knows? Who knows? He said that was the most common. Those who have ears, let them hear. That's what I'm talking to you about. You can only hear what you have ears to hear. You cannot hear what you don't have ears to hear. That is why your dog barks when there is nothing, because it has ears to hear that. You don't have ears to hear that. So, I want to encourage you that this journey starts with the appreciation that you are hearing. You see? Because your consciousness is that I am speaking. I want you to realize that actually what happens is that you are hearing or not. That is where it should start. When people conflict their hearing with the speaking, they have room to get rejected. Because it's like you said, I didn't say it. And I know I didn't say it. You heard it. What will change is the moment your hearing changes. But your hearing will not change when you think you can hear. So we'll say, but I heard you now. I was there. I wrote it in my book. So what? The fact that 20 people speak English doesn't mean they speak the same language. You know that? English is not your real language. English is just like your eye in front of you. It's the external appearance of a language. Language is by hearing. So we can be speaking English but not speaking. In fact, that is very, very common. So we're talking like this. What happens is that what must happen is that you must realize that I need to hear. I need to hear in a way I'm not heard. So I am not just listening. I'm not just listening with the consciousness that if someone is speaking, but I'm listening with the consciousness that I am hearing. So I really want to know what is being said. Not that I want I want to fit what is being said into the way I've seen the world till now. The way people listen is that they take what is being said and they need to fit it in quickly. Because you're clever, you're so smart, you've been to school, you have degrees. You want to fit it in quickly because that's where you know this will fit in, drop in. Yeah, that's good. Wow, that's good. You know why that's good? Because I can fit it in. I have not had to grapple with anything. Because you don't grapple with things, you remain where you are. You need to grapple to move. The real breakthrough is a breakthrough in hearing. The real breakthrough is a breakthrough in seeing. The moment you see differently, the world changes. Not because it changed, because you changed. Whenever mankind gets into a new level of vision, the world changes. Air travel was always there. Not to man, but always there. Tomorrow is already now. Just not seen. What will be has already been. It's already here. Waiting for people that can see. Be open to change your perspective, your worldview. Many times people ask me questions and they want me to answer questions according to the idea of the world. They tell me, explain it to me, meaning I am the judge, give me the data. I'm not able to judge it. Yeah, this is good. Oh, Tolu said something. That was a good one, Tolu. Oh, nice guy. That is the natural arrogance of man. I know when I tell about on the phone, someone called me from the UK asking me something. I was just trying to be helpful, and I said, what I'm about to say, don't think you understand it. I think I can comprehend whatever you're going to say. So, it is this feeling that I can comprehend it. Of course I can get it. I get it. Just explain it to me. Just give me the information. Oh, I like that. That's good. Well, that one, the way you said it, I don't think that's the way it works. That's not the way it works. But that one, it's good. Bring it here. Thank you very much. That was a good one. That is what keeps you where you are. Because you are the judge. You remain the judge. And then you cannot go higher than the judge. The judge sets the ceiling. Whereas what it requires is for you to come down off your seat of judgment, like a child, and say, okay, how could that be? I'm not getting something here. I'm not seeing. There's something I'm not seeing. There's something I'm not getting. Any questions? This is the first idea I want to tackle today. This idea is the idea of a lifetime. It's not it's an idea you must hold on to and understand. That's why Jesus went on to say, he who has ears, let him hear. That is not a prejudiced statement. It's not a statement of prejudice. It's not you who are dull. You're dull. I'm sorry for you. But you are bright. You're bright. Because most people read it that way and they don't realize they're reading it that way. That's why they've never really asked, what does that mean? Because it's like, okay, thank you, Jesus. Okay, what are you saying? It's nice. I like it. No, but he's saying those who want to hear must get ears that can hear what is being said. When a language exceeds your ability to hear it, it is your desire to hear it that locks you into a new ability to hear. I repeat, when a language exceeds your ability to hear it, it is your desire to hear it that locks you into a new ability to hear. When you want to speak French, your desire to speak French, when immersed in a French-speaking environment, makes you a French speaker. All I need to do is take you to France and live in France. You speak French, don't worry. Doesn't matter how bad your language is, you will speak French. Because the ability to hear the language is inside the language. The language comes with its own ability to hear it. But if you despise it, you do not get the ability to then hear it. I am staying on this point because this is going to affect everything we're going to say. This affects you in your marriage, in your home, at work, affects you everywhere. Please don't take off your religious cap if you have one. Put it off. This is life. This is universal. If it is not universal, it's not true. Okay, idea one. Any questions? Any thoughts before I move on to the next idea? The friends you have, people who speak similar language to you. Yeah. That's why they're your friend. Because they speak your language. So they have ears to hear what you are saying. So generally, one of the signs you will know that your hearing has changed is either your friends will change because it will just happen, or they will have to be humble enough to say, we thought we knew you, but you are new you. So we have to listen to this new language till we get ears to hear. Okay? Point number 2. I want you to see So remember we're talking about truth. Okay. Okay. Let me just. So here we go. God works. I repeat, God works. God does anything He does because it works. God does not have an ego. You are the one with an ego problem. God does not have an ego problem. If you came to God and provided a better way to do something, God would take your idea over his. If that surprises you, then you have a distorted view of God. God is not. God doesn't have ego issues like you. God doesn't. Whatever works. If God wasn't like that, then the earth would not work the way it works. I want you to imagine a boss in the office who says, guys, we're going to do this project now. I have this idea. Wow, this is what we do, and everyone's happy. And then someone says, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am. Why don't we do it this way? And this way is better, more effective, more cost efficient, you know? And the boss says, my friend, keep quiet. I brought an idea. What are you saying? Were you there when I had this idea? No, do it my way. Would you say that's a good boss? You want a boss that says, that's good. Right? Let's wake up here. We're going to ask questions. That's what God is.
Sometimes you have to admit some of the ideas are just. By the time you have listened to them so long.
Yeah.
But then, as you say, it's my perspective, it's my eyes.
Yes. Feeling yes, exactly. So that's why I'm introducing new ideas. So the ideas you have that contradict what I just said, you have to practice. You don't have to go on. Otherwise, I'm starting with this. This is a cardinal idea. This is axiomatic. God works. He does it because it works. What God wants is for it to work. What God likes is when things work. God hates when things don't work. God does not do anything that doesn't work. If it doesn't work, He doesn't do it. That's what determines what He does and what He doesn't do. This may shock you, let it shock you. This may offend you, let it. Just move through it, we'll get past it, and we're going to build on it. Yes, someone has a question. Yeah, question. Yes.
It was like a comment here.
Yes.
I hope that that's the God that exists. Right? Like, I believe that.
Right.
But it's a hope.
Yes.
I don't know if it's factual.
Good. Very good point. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good point. But do you realize that if that is not God, then everything is doomed, because it will end up in annihilation. It has to. For it to persist perpetually, any system to continue continuously, perpetually, it must work. Otherwise, it doesn't. So, you might just know everything's going to. Well, just tell me. I'm not saying you reach a termination point. I'm saying everything will terminate. So, that is either the case or God works.
Yeah, but aren't there signs that will happen?
Well,
On the explosion and stuff. Yeah.
yes.
Signs that every
Wonderful. Wonderful. You have to allow the story to build. You are looking with your eyes. So you have to hold, you see. I'm introducing a new idea framework. One idea at a time. You have to, because I'm coming to address that. Just let it. I'm telling you, you may not know this to be the case because you haven't met him. I'm telling you about him. So take it that I know him and I'm telling you about him. Yes, ma'am.
So, at the risk of limiting my
It's fine.
understand,
It's fine.
whilst I'm still processing,
Yes.
because all of this is new.
Yes.
When you say God works,
Yes.
that for me is really like confidence boosting and
Right.
very comforting.
Mhm.
But then when you then say, but when I hear you,
Yes.
that he's open to ideas.
Yes.
What I'm asking, what I'm looking for
Yes.
is an instance where that has happened.
Oh, you know many. You know it. You just didn't notice. You know it. You just didn't notice. And okay. Who here? Raise your hand in this room. I have never been to church in my life. Raise your hand. Oh, nobody. Okay. So I'm not. If I
Past 2 years.
yes, fine. But in the many years before that, you have interacted with
It's a lamb led to slaughter.
and that is okay. that is okay. I'm glad that you're here now. So, Abraham has visitors, and God said, "I'm going to Sodom and Gomorrah to see what's up. I'm going to tell them." What does Abraham do? Well, I wouldn't call it negotiation. This is just ideas. God is like,
That was the instance that came to my head.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be sure that
that's a simple.
Okay.
Many is that instance. Actually, you think because it's obvious I'm using it, but when I'm done, you're going to realize that it has happened to you so many times. You're going to realize it has happened to you so many times. Man is the one that's free. Man is the one that is egocentric. And because we are egocentric, we have projected our ego onto God. You see? I'll give you examples. If you are Yoruba here, this should hit home. Can you imagine the way that girl will tell you? I girl don't have home training. I will tell somebody. The Yorubas are the ones that tend to talk like this. So you're welcome any other tribe to participate in it. God does not talk like that. It is a human need for their ego to be stroked. God has no such need. God has no what? Such need. So because we have that need and our minds are twisted and our eyes are corrupted, we look at God. Better bow down. Bow down properly. Okay. I remember one day being in church, I was in uni, and I was chewing gum through the service. And then my friend's mom comes after the service. I saw you chewing gum. You chew gum in front of me. If you were going to a meeting, I was trying to process. I'm like, yeah. Some people don't like it. Some people like it. The point is, God does not have the issues you have. God is not your dad. God is not your mom. God is not your friend. The way your friend behaves. You're projecting all that on God. God doesn't have no issues. So if it works, it works. God doesn't say, how dare you bring an idea that works better than mine? Who do you think you are? You see my point? Do you go to your computer and say, search Google or use your computer and say, how dare you get a better answer than me? You compute. Do you have a complex with your computer? No. I'm using that in this case because if I use children, some people do have complexes in that regard. Or you shouldn't. Like your child. The child will say, mommy, daddy. Brilliant. That's why I sent you to school. That's what I want from you. You need to understand this. God does not have the issues you have. It works. Okay? Number 2. A person can only do things that are them. Shall I repeat that? A person can only do things that are them. You do you. You do you. I know. We say you do you. No, I mean you do you. What I'm trying to say is that there is a way you are. That way you are is what you do. You do everything the way you are. That is why when you know someone well enough, you can go into a home and say, is this so and so's home? The way this home is, the way it's organized. They say, no, it's not Hawa. It's not Hawa's home. It's Hawa's sister's home. Who here has been to a place and say, is this the designer that did this? The designer does things like this. So when the person is designing a room, if you know the person well enough and the person designs a house from the outside, you get a sense that it's the same person. Right? There is one unified stream of who you are that flows into everything you do. You do who you are. That is why when people want to change what they do or what they are able to do, they oftentimes say, come and help me do something. No. You want to be someone new. Someone who does something new. You do who you are. Computers. Computers was the name given to people, especially women, who computed. Did you know that? You know that Alan Turing, when he's the grandfather of computers, he studied computers to create the first algorithm machine, which is essentially a universal computer. He studied i.e. people. So what you call a computer is made by man. Therefore, the computer behaves like man. You cannot create outside who you are. You cannot do outside who you are. Everything you do is speaking about you. If I want to know you, I can study all your works. I get a sense of you. If I can study all your words and your works, I know you. Because actually, I may know you better than the person next to you. Because that's who you are. After all, the person that says they know you, is it because they saw your interest lines? How do they know you? Work products. What comes out of your mouth is work product. That's your work product. What comes out of your action, that's work product. Your work product is you. If I took all your words and I called them and I told them to come here beside you, that is the you that I need to interact with. This you that we're talking is not. That's not. This is the you. All those words, and I can get them, I can comprehend them, I can grapple with them, I know you. And people know you better than you. You realize that? That is the real you. This you is a casing to mediate that you. You see my point? Yes. We are mediating something that's what we really. So when we say, Yoruba have things like, you say Yoruba, like a mechanic or somebody, a tailor, and say, you really enjoy me. You know that's a Yoruba. You enjoy me. It's a way of saying, I'll do good by you. You'll enjoy the experience of working with me. You'll enjoy me. When you enjoy someone, what do you enjoy? Yes, you may enjoy this, but you know that very soon, all their words, all their actions cover their physical appearance. That's why someone can be very attracted to you today. Give it time. Their words you can't see them again. Do you know that? You can, and someone can be not attracted to you, but take their words, take the action. It makes it beautiful. if you everybody here is not going to know this. When you interact with people, the way they look initially changes. There's the initial look and then there's the enduring look. That enduring look is a function of the intangibles that they're wearing. Okay? So you do what you are. That is the universal rule. God does what He is. Very good. So if you want to know Him, we can know Him through His work product. What He says, what He does. If you can interact with it and understand it, you know Him. It's the same with you. The fact that you can't see Him is not relevant. Do you see that? The fact that you can't see Him is not relevant. Because the fact that I can see you is not relevant. I can see you all I want to see with these eyes. Until I see you, the real you, I haven't seen you. So most people go around looking at people with their eyes, their eyeballs, but they don't see them. Is that making sense?
Yes. Yes.
Now watch this. Creation is God's work product. When you look at it, if you have eyes to see, you can see Him. You see, to read Him. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
This is why Jesus did not go around on the mountaintops with scrolls, opening scrolls and reading the scrolls to people and saying this scroll, that scroll. That in the synagogue is what they did, and they gave him the scroll and he read the scroll many times. But all he had to do was say, look at the birds, look at the sea, look at this. People think, and this is the arrogance of many things, that Jesus was doing that because they were backward then. They, an agrarian society. So he was using, who here has got into this stream of thinking before? I had. He was using examples that were their level. Now we're more advanced and we're more tech guys, so let's use tech. That's sad. That's very sad. He was silly because that is the picture of the person. Right?
Yes.
If you like fashion, whatever, you can take a whole suite of designs by somebody and we begin to look at them one by one. First time we won't see a pattern, but by 10, 12, we begin to see a pattern. Okay. So when you go around now and you see an outfit, you're like, is that this person's outfit? You say, no, it's this other person's outfit. I'm like, it's so much like this. And say, actually, this person trained under that person. There you go. So when you recognize somebody, you recognize their lineage. So leads me to point 3. A person is a living idea. A person is a living idea. That is what I have been saying all this while. Now I've said it in words that may shake your concepts. So let's shake your concepts. Very simple. An idea is like matter, or ideas are like matter. In the realm of matter, you have atoms. Everybody remember atoms?
Yes.
Molecules. Atoms come together to form molecules. So if you have carbon, you have a carbon atom. Right? You can have carbon coming together, all carbon. It's all carbon. At every level of constitution, at every level of aggregation, it is carbon. And carbon has a certain set of rules by which it combines with carbon. There are ways that carbon can never combine with carbon. Carbon will only combine with carbon in a certain way because of the way carbon is. Carbon behaves the way carbon is. So whether it's one or many, it will combine in a certain way. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Same way ideas are. An idea could be a single idea, just one thing captured in a statement. An idea could be 1 billion statements that are coherent as one. Right? And I could give you one statement that captures the 1 billion, but it will take you 10,000 years, 10 billion years to understand the full depth of what I just said. But I just gave you one, the handle of that idea. A person is a living idea. A human being is an embodied idea. You are a bloody idea.
That's so funny to me.
You are a bloody idea. You are an idea that is bloody, that's dripping blood, so that we can interact with it. I know that's some people just that will sit well with. It's like, what's an idea? You may have to rethink what an idea is then. You see, you are an embodied idea. So, if I spend time with you, just you, and I don't do anything, and I just spend time with you, and everything I do, we do together, everything we do together, I will eventually experience the idea that you are. Do you see that? Do you see that? I will experience the idea that you are. So, the bloodiness of the idea helps me experience. Do you see? Because the idea is bloody, I can interact with it. You see? If the idea was not bloody, I can't interact with it. That's what you call a spirit. An idea that is not bloody. I don't know whether the room is following me. Confused.
Sorry, can you take that last point?
If an idea is not bloody, i.e., it's not flesh and blood, then it's hard to experience it. It's hard to interact with it. In this, do you think?
Yes.
When it's flesh and blood, it comes from this abstract place, and we can use it. The idea is simply the face. Okay, so I'll go there since we're here now. The idea is the face of the spirit. Every spirit has a face. It's an idea. What you call idea is the other side of the spirit, which you cannot see. You have the God-given ability to interact with spirits by interacting with ideas. The spirit approaches you by bringing an idea to you. It is like a face recognition mechanism. You see the face of the spirit, you call it an idea. If you agree, it means the spirit says we are alike. Meaning we can get married, we can have kids, we can do stuff together. You accept the idea, it opens a door for that spirit to walk with you. What I'm saying is very heavy. So if you are a malevolent spirit, what would you do? Would you bring a malevolent looking face? No. This is the root of deception. What I'm saying is very important. And if you are humble, then this will help. Don't get fooled. That's why we need to know this. This is our defense. Because there are different spirits with different faces. One comes to this idea, you don't like it, moves. The door doesn't open, doesn't recognize the face. Another comes with this idea, recognizes the face, opens. Okay, guys. Okay, I'm going to go through it, but let's talk about communism very quick. Communism is the idea of for everyone according to their need, from everyone according to their need. That idea sounds so good, doesn't it?
It does.
You know how many people die because of communism?
Millions.
Millions because of communism. If you looked at that idea at the face and you did not have truth, you would not know any better. Not that people that fought the idea had truth. They fought the idea for different reasons. So don't get fooled again because your enemy is fighting something. So that thing is fighting your friend. You will all be friends fighting. Yeah. Just don't. Yes. Yes. The idea is just the face. When you engage the idea and if you embrace it, It's like a woman that takes in, that conceives. At conception, you have no idea the baby will look. But if you hold that pregnancy, if you sustain it, if you give it life, if you will give birth. So many people give birth, they don't know who is the father of the baby. The father of the baby, they don't know when they conceived. Because they had the idea they saw and the effect it's having down the line don't look alike. Hence, there is a way that seems good to a man, but the end of it is destruction. This is very, very important. Very, very important. The idea, your embodied idea. Your unique ability is to transduce ideas and make them experiential for humans, for creatures. Ideas are there, they cannot be experienced. You take them. Once you take them, it's like a woman. Mankind is like a woman. Right? The man has goods. You cannot see those goods ever. You can't talk to his sperm. You can have as many as you cannot talk to. He needs a woman to take it and bring from it. So they can play with and have fun with and experience. He's experiencing himself. He needed the ability. So mankind together is like woman, the ability to incubate and bring and experience. What you call your life is your children. Incubated, you are brought forth. And you keep delivering. Some of them you kill off, by the way. All your children you kill off. Some of them you want to kill off. And there's some protocol that's true in this case. We talked about your work product, that's your children. You're bringing forth. Most people don't change because they're locked into a certain idea stream. Something else comes, you can't see. And they don't care to see, so they don't see.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
It's so wide, so wide. If I use myself as an example, you come to a certain age and you want to go through this, you desire this rebirth. And in that rebirth, you come into a new conscious state of being that allows you to go through that rebirth. That strengthens you or whatever it is that you need at the time to go through that rebirth. You actually said it earlier, your friends will change. But the people who are around you, who are the same age as you, it's like, they're looking forward to the grandchildren, they're looking forward to a set way of life. And it's almost like a new beginning. Because my children are all living their own lives. I almost feel as if I have a new opportunity to live a whole new life, depending on my capacity to birth, to see, and to then go through the pain or the pleasure of birthing that life. So is it that they don't want to see? Or, well, we have a choice, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm thinking through as I'm talking to you. We all have a choice, and the choice is ours. It always is, it always will be. But some people just are so hardwired that it's just easy to submit and go in the flow
Yes.
of what already exists and what they know
Yes.
as truth for them.
That there is the wrong. The problem is the human pride, which I already said, but I didn't define pride for you. Let me define it for you. Pride is inversely proportional to the value you place on truth. If you don't value truth high enough, you are proud.
But then whose truth?
The truth.
There's only one truth.
There is only one truth. There's only one truth. there cannot be multiple truths. If there are multiple truths, none of them is true. That is part of the definition of truth. It is universally, it is exclusive. Listen to what I'm about to say. It is exclusive and it is universal at the same time. Do you get that? It has to be exclusive, meaning nothing else can say, I am the truth. And at the same time, it must be universal.
So it is universally true that I am human being.
We can't,
I'm trying to understand.
we have 4 sessions for that. That's why I'm building this framework. That's why
I was going to say, but I'm exclusively. Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's how I feel.
I beg of you, please don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. Because what you're doing is you're using your eye to look at you. Don't do that. That's the whole point of this. Okay, that's why I'm introducing ideas that seem far away so that we can then speak a language that can work together. I beg of you. I really beg of you. It's not going to take long. We will build very quickly. I know. And that's why it's important to follow through these sessions. Right? Because I could just come and okay, what is true? In a sentence. Have I really helped you?
Can you say what you said pride was again?
Pride is inversely proportional to the value you place on the truth. High value on truth, low pride. High value on truth, high humility. Pride has nothing to do with what you think you had to do. So when someone comes and say, I did this, I did that, I did this and this, and they say, this guy is so proud. No, he's not. Let me tell you what's happening. Your ego is in the way. Most people will say are proud, they rope us the wrong way. It's about us. That is not pride. That is you. Actually, you're the one that's proud. People that go around saying you are proud, they're probably proud. That person has an ego issue. Listen. So because pride is about how I feel. So suddenly you make me feel good, you're humble. You don't get in the way of my ego, you make yourself small for me, you're humble. No, that's not how it is. Truth. So the issue is the person that looks the most humble can be the most proud. As long as it doesn't value truth. You don't value truth high enough, above everything else, then you won't go for it. Something else will satisfy you and you stop. And that's the degrees. Somebody can start and say, yeah, I'm breaking forward, I'm moving forward, and then they stop. That's pride, that's stop. So when it says pride comes before a fall, or what is it mean? It's talking about truth. Pride gets in the way of truth. And it's not that, oh, I'm so big. Okay? So when you look at creation, we can see God's idea. The way he thinks, the way he reasons, what he likes, what he doesn't like is consistent throughout creation. I'll give you 2 examples that are parallel. You may have thought of, you may have not thought of this deeply. The gestation period of a woman before she gives birth and the time for planting the seed to the time it brings forth fruit is the same concept. Exactly the same. Man, farmer, inseminates the ground, woman. The ground, woman must hold that and hold. It's not passive. She must hold, she must keep the pregnancy, keep it. Foil it, feed it, water it, tend it, hold it dear. Then eventually what pops out at the other end looks nothing like what came in. What carries for us the expression of what came in. What came in, we know what came in by what comes out. Do you see? So, when you have it's an orange seed, so what happens with an orange quickly? Orange. It's just helpful to see these things. Thank you very much. Our beloved Nigerian oranges. Okay. Other than the fact that you have been told, if you didn't know any better, and I said these two things are the same, you say never. How are these two things the same? Then, listen, if you want your village, your nation to have vitamin C, I'll give you this. For how much vitamin C is it? I'm giving you nothing. Nothing. But I'm telling you, I'm giving you vitamin C. Take it, accept it. Take vitamin C. No, seriously. But you're like, but I asked you for this. I'm like, yeah, I've given you a gazillion. Now, someone else can come to you and bring something that looks like that or small like that. In fact, it looks more like this. Shape, size. You're like, yeah, I like this. This looks like this. What have you just fallen for? Deception. This is where humility is really coming from. This is the same with gestation, pregnancy, inputs, outputs. You do not know what experience this is encoding for until you experience it. This is the meaning of this. You don't know what this means until you begin to enjoy. So lovely orange. Oh, nice, juicy orange. You like fibrous orange? Okay, fibrous orange. I really like the oranges. The point is, you begin to understand what this means. Here. You see what I mean? The gestation period of a woman on the soil. I can give you many, many examples. Some of them might seem odd because we haven't gone through this stuff. But I'm telling you, they are not the same by coincidence. They are the same because there is a way someone is thinking that makes them the same. There is a pattern. There is a what? Pattern. See that pattern of seed bringing forth after its kind, the one that put the seed in, gets the experience of the seed. When we come to God the Father and Jesus the Son, at the same time. You cannot experience this until you get this. We'll come to that. Don't worry, let me not jump ahead of myself. The concepts, and you will know the truth when you see it. It is so universal. It is so clear. In fact, it is unassailable. When you're going to decide to answer this question, you will realize that you cannot deny it. To deny it would deny your existence, deny yourself. In fact, to deny it would be to deny that you're thinking. So, I want to talk about reality then. God, who made all things, made everything after a pattern. This pattern. So, if we have eyes to see, we can see that pattern everywhere. Everywhere. And man cannot help but follow that pattern. So, writing did not start 5,000 years, 6,000 years ago. Writing has always been. Books have always been. Books were in eternity past. Because books are part of the pattern. Man is birthed in a pattern that is encoded in him. Books have always been. Thrones have always been. Kingdoms have always been. This is an eternal concept. Now, let me shock some people. Let me shock you. Get past it. The eternal concepts. Ideas have always been. Will always be. Windows. Man is not the one that calls the concept of window. In fact, man is still on a journey to understand what a window is. If I say what a window is, you point to that. Is that a window? You talk to the ancients, and the ancients said, we have a window. They're talking about window in a funny way. You know those ancient people, we are very advanced now, we build houses and we have windows. Let me ask you a question. What is your phone? What's your phone? So, and is it interesting that it actually looks like that window? They're putting the glass essentially. Glass. That's not a good thing. But this window is a different kind of window. Because the same idea. Man is expressing himself. But that expressing himself is coming from. Remember, man transduces ideas. He's transducing ideas. He's giving ideas expression. So having said that, reality has three phases. Reality has three phases. I'm sure you can all recognize. I am drawing a tree for those of you and those of you who are looking at what I'm drawing and still don't know what it is. I will make it plain. This is a tree. You might like the tree or not like the tree, it's irrelevant at this point. So, think about a tree. Think about a garden. I want you to imagine a fruit garden, a place where fruit trees are. Okay, orange trees are very good example. Full of oranges, good, juicy, healthy orange trees. Now I want you to imagine that you can see none of that except the oranges. Only the oranges you can see. What would the garden look like?
It's floating oranges.
Just oranges. Is that a problem that they're floating?
No.
Is that a problem? What do you want? It's not orange.
Oranges.
So you pick the oranges and enjoy the oranges. That is life. What you see that you call the world are the oranges. Just the oranges. The orange, the fruit dimension of the tree represents the manifestation dimension. What you experience, the experiential dimension. Fruits. Then you have another dimension that is invisible altogether. You do not see the root system of those trees. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
The design is such that they are hidden. By their very design, they are hidden. And if you try to unmask them, you destroy. So by design, they are made, that dimension is made to be hidden from view. It is the root dimension of reality. The root dimension, also called the foundation, is hidden. There is a dimension that is in between these two. What is it? Tree. Right?
Yeah.
Shoot. Take your pick. This dimension is here and there. It's neither here nor there. And it's both here and there. You see that these three dimensions are not three distinct things. They are three phases of one road. Right? Like Ozumba and Badugwe and Lekki Expressway. It's one road. They flow into one another. If I change one, I change all. If I want to change the fruits of this tree, what must I change? The system. This is the source point, right? This is the delivery point, and this is the transmission point. That is actually how the world was created. The whole world is like this. You as a human are like this. Fruit represents experience, manifestation. We're able to enjoy or not, right? That is what you call the world. What you see and are able to touch and enjoy in the world are the fruits of creation. The fruits of creation. Just like what you're able to see and enjoy of a person is their fruits. There is a root dimension that is hidden. Okay. So let me help you with this. Because I can see some people are questioning. Okay. So I will go back to the beginning. God said light, and there was light. And God saw the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. Why did they see the darkness? Have you ever asked yourself a question? God said light be. There was light. So where is the darkness? And why is he separating the darkness? You must understand this if you will understand this. When God said light be, light eliminated darkness. There cannot be darkness when light has come. Just doesn't work. What God did when he separated the light from the darkness, he separated two dimensions. A source dimension, which he called light, and a dependent dimension, which he called darkness. Why is it called darkness? Because it has no light of its own. But darkness was not made to be dark. That dependent dimension is the mirror dimension. So, can you guys say something? You guys looking good? Can you say something?
Too high.
Too high, too high. Anyone admire themselves in the mirror? Okay. Yeah. Okay, you guys too. I'm sorry. Yes. Looking good. Smile. Okay. So what if I said, what's yeah. Who's that in there? You. It's sure. Wave at yourself. What would happen if you waved at yourself and the other you said, "Let's go out now"? You would run away. You would get up and say, "This is not okay." Why? Because she is dependent on you. She is in a dependent dimension. She is inside the mirror. Okay, if you want to see that Shoma more brightly, what do you say to tell that Shoma to put on the lighting? Give us more lighting in there. Can Shoma give us any light? Is there any light there? Even though you are seeing, you can see the reflection of light. Is there any light inside that dimension? There's no light in the light. It's actually darkness. But it's not meant to be dark. At no point is it meant to be dark, because if you have light, it will always have light. He separated the light from the darkness and called the light day and the darkness night. Here's the parable again. What is the moon? It is a reflection of the sun. The night is a reflection of the day. It is a reflection dimension.
Why was light created?
I will explain it. This. Why do you look at the mirror?
Because I was brought up to look at it.
Oh, really? We can change that then. Tell me, please. Don't go on mirror. So she unlearns that bad habit. That bad habit of looking at mirrors. Why is it that when you walk past the mirror, you check it? After you make sure, oh my Lord, let's not go here, ladies. All the time you try to do it just to make sure. After you made sure, you now make sure and keep making sure. You are behaving according to type. When you like what you see, you want to see what you like to see.
When you are told repeatedly as a child, and you look beautiful after they put the mirror in front of you? It becomes an idea.
You don't need to be told you look beautiful after they put the mirror. If you are told you look beautiful, that is already a mirror. So there's a different mirror before, after this mirror. When you've left this mirror, you confirm what this mirror has said. You go out. You say, okay, I'm looking good today. Why? Because the mirrors are telling me. Look at the mirrors. People. Who's that? Am I making sense? That is why God created the dimension.
So what the mirrored image is to tell you.
Let me build the three. Let me build the three. Then you'll see the full picture. God separated the light from the darkness. Then the next day, day 2 of creation, you can check this in the Bible. He separated the waters from the waters. The waters above from the waters beneath. Waters mirror. The face of the water is a mirror. There was light, there was darkness. But the darkness had no darkness. It was connected by the interface. The waters beneath, yes, were a mirror reflection of the waters above. And he separated them so that in between there is now a third dimension where the waters above give light to the waters and the waters beneath give manifestation. Remember the man, the woman, and the child? Do you remember?
Yes.
Someone needs to inseminate, and then the person inseminated needs to bring forth. Then we can experience it. Do you see what I'm saying? I want to capture these ideas without going above, beneath, yeah? Manifestation. That manifestation is what you call earth, is what you enjoy. All of you have been to church, so I can use those references. Go and read, check your Bible, do a search for the foundation of the world. God laid the foundations of the world. Foundations of the world. That is the foundation. The waters beneath. The waters beneath don't mean Atlantic Ocean. The waters above is heaven. Waters beneath is the foundation of the earth. Invisible foundation. From which every physical aspect of earth came out and comes out from. Do you see? Heaven, foundation of the earth. So whenever the ancients talk about creation, you say, God, by wisdom, laid the foundation of the earth, really heaven. I will tell you things hidden from the foundation. That is why trees grow the way they do. That is why to go up, you need to go down. I'm going to ask you a question. What is this, sir? It's an orange. Where did sun come
from? Trees. An orange tree.
Where did it come from to get into that orange tree?
The ground. The seed.
It came from the ground. Sorry, it came from the ground. Ground?
The seed.
Seed. Okay, so bring out your orange. Where did it come from? You have a child, no? Where did your child come from?
My belly.
Oh, really? Can you bring another one? No, I'm serious. Where did your child come from?
Well, it came from conception of sperm and my egg.
Where did your child come from? Definitely, sperm and egg don't have consciousness or anything. Came from God.
Alright.
It is beyond the biochemical dimension of. We know that, right? Where did this come from? Why was I hard to conceptualize when I asked it?
It's far removed. I feel like it's easier to see the tree, see the.
Yeah. Actually, it came from God. It is an experience of God. Do you see that?
Yes.
Experience.
Yes. It is actually experiencing something that has to do with the person who designed and with this. It came from God in heaven, therefore it came from heaven. Well, how did it travel here? How did it get here? How did it travel here?
How it was, please. Questions online.
There are many questions.
One question, just I think it's very important to.
Okay, yes. What's the question?
I'm taking this part to mean that for a thing to exist, there must also exist the opposite of that thing. Is this what you mean, or am I a bit lost?
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. I'm not talking about opposites here. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I don't know how the person got here to help. If you can help me
We're describing the
Same with the mirror.
seed, the mirror, the
No, what is inside the mirror is not opposite of you.
referring to darkness and light being opposite.
Okay.
They are not opposites. They are not opposites. One is principal, the other is dependent dimension. Sorry? Yes, source. Principal, source, dependent dimension.
We've been taught differently over time. So
Yeah, no, the English was that's why I said when we speak English, in fact that we speak English doesn't mean we say language. True. So how will God let you know, or how will Moses record it? He's trying to record, he's trying to say the darkness. There was darkness, then God said light be, then God brought out darkness out of the light. It's like which one is it? No, the darkness before is what you call evil. The darkness after that's not evil. That's you call it night. That's not evil.
So wait. So I don't know if I'm taking it right also.
Sorry?
I don't know if I'm
Okay.
honestly trying to like grasp it.
Okay.
So before God said let there be light,
Yes.
means that the devil was already
No, there was no
no,
devil.
has nothing to do with it.
That had nothing to do with the devil.
Evil was on earth. No.
There was no earth. He created heaven and earth. Do not worry about what was. Don't worry about that. Just there was chaos. What was there was chaos, evil. Evil does not. The devil is a slave of evil. So don't. Evil is. We'll come to the concept of what evil is. We have to come to that. So just understand the principal dimension, light, the reflection dimension called night. Night is not for darkness, i.e. to be dark. Night is to reflect the glory of the day. That is why in a perfect state, which God is bringing forth in due time, the night will be the same as the day. Do you see?
Okay.
Night was not made to be dark. Again, when I talk about the original design, do not try to understand the original design from your fallen, twisted, contorted design and contorted thinking because of that contorted design. Do you see my point? In fact, it's the human distortion that distorted the design. So when I'm going back to the pure design to give you the architecture, this is the architecture. That is why When you want the beautiful orange, the sweet orange, you go to the place you put dead people to break. That's what you go to the place where people go to die, where people go to decay. It's where you go. It is yes, the ground. The ground. Yeah.
Very round.
Yeah, but things will grow very well there. That's why, remember I started with the pattern is everywhere. That we don't think of the soil as something bad, we're happy. It is made to reflect. What comes out is beautiful. It's made to give birth. So that is definite, that is not darkness. That is night reflection. If it fails to do its job, however, it becomes darkness. If it fails to look at the light, to receive the light, to be what it is, which is a reflection of that light, it becomes contorted. If it thinks it can be principal, if it thinks it can be source, if trauma inside this mirror begins to behave separately than this trauma, that stops to draw its life from here, that will die. It is made to be sustained by the source dimension. If it stops that, it is distorted. If you put yourself in the place of God, if you think you are God, I will stop there. Most people don't realize they think they're God. Because don't worry, I'll come to that. A lot of people try to go for truth and exclude God.
And there is a truth that says I know these things. Oh, that is not a truth.
We have to, you have to let the new ideas, you have to, so as I'm speaking, there will be ideas that you have to put them in your room for now. Keep them, you know, they tell the kids, quarantine. You need a quarantine room. 4 weeks quarantine.
It would be more than 4 weeks.
That's not true.
You have to grapple with it. Yeah, you have to grapple with it and you will win. Yes, and you will win. Yes. Yes. So, dependent realms. Yes?
Yes.
This is where the earth came out from. God formed what you call the earth from this. That's why Peter says the earth made from water and earned water, consisting in water. That's not water of Atlantic Ocean. That is the real waters that you cannot see. This is heaven. Can you see that? Essentially, the foundation of the earth and heaven are one continuous. Really, it's a continuous. Forget your concepts of space and distance. When this was separated, they were not separated in continuity. Do you see my point? Do you see my point? It's like me, what's your name? It's like me, Umi, continuing to and separating the space between you, but you still feel like one. But there's space. You see, you are continuous. When you eat, it all goes, it just moves from here, moves to there, just like this space. It's the same connection. Nothing different. Do you see? This is made to reflect. So you will see in your Bible things like we looking at in a glass where the reflecting glass reflection will check scripture. Again. As in water, face answers to face, so the heart of a man does this man. This reflection dimension is what is called darkness. God made that darkness for light. Darkness was made for light. You see? When that darkness gets out of darkness is, oh, look at us, we're so good. If that trauma inside there, because that trauma is looking at you and seeing you and admiring herself. Do you see? Like you're admiring yourself. She's admiring herself because you're your heart is you. So it's like, wow, I look so good, and she decides to sing it for me because she looks so good. You realize you're not going to look good for long. draws her beauty from you. Is it making sense? This is the manifestation dimension. This is fruity. When you talk about fruits, this is manifestation, experience. What is here is manifested here in experiential form. Okay? And this we can explore more and more. Don't focus so much on this. Focus on this. Yeah. So this. So where did the orange come from? Now can I answer the question? Where did the orange come from? How? Where did the pastor come? It came out of the ground. That's why it came out of the ground, because the ground is connected to the earth. That's the idea. It came from heaven out here to come up.
Yes.
It is the same architecture. Do you see? It is hidden first, then brought forth. Like the child is hidden for 9 months, and then brought forth.
So it's more connected. That's right.
Of course. No, okay. You are connected to heaven, not the woman's womb. The man. No, mankind. You have to take it easy. You have to follow me. There, many concepts need to be put together. When you mix old ideas with new ideas that don't fit, then you get it. It's a different way of looking at the world. The problem is that you go to school, you know so much. You don't understand truths that are as ancient as time. So you will say, okay, but another chemical reaction, and so what? That's a superficial way of seeing. I am saying that this fruit comes out of here and manifests here. When you eat the fruit, okay, who here wants to drink the sap of an orange tree? Orange sap. Sorry, but do you realize that what you're doing is drinking orange sap? But it is in the form now to engage you, to enjoy. So if you drink sap, you're like, what is this? But when you eat orange, you're like, this is good. This is good. It's the meaning of the orange sap. This is the meaning of the orange seed. Everything it means, you are looking at outside you, externally. When you were here, now nobody needs to write an essay about orange. You experience it. You don't have to be intelligent. IQ can be 0.5. When you eat the orange, you have the intelligence in that regard as the genius. You taste it, you enjoy it, you know it, you understand. Your intelligence is not a factor. You see, it's universal. This dimension is a straddler. It's straddling what is hidden and what is experienced. This is seen by you, right? The tree is seen, but you don't eat it. This you see, you eat, you touch, you taste. So this is straddling. You see? Transmitting, as it were. This is a picture of the whole of creation. Here. I mean, mapping this exactly will take me deeper and deeper into this, which I don't want to go into. I'm using this from creation to show you everything. It's the same with the candle.
Okay. How's that?
Same with the candle. Or lamp. Right? That's the lights in the lamp. What's this? Oil. 3 dimensions. Oil. Hidden. Light rays. that come to you, that you experience. When you enjoy the light in this room, or the light of the sun, you don't go to the sun to look in the sun. You don't even notice the sun. You notice the light from the sun that interacts with you, that you eat. Your eyes drink the light and enjoy the light. Right? And it's good. And you say it's a lovely day. You don't look directly into the sun and say it's such a lovely day. You enjoy what you are drinking in. That is the manifestation dimension. That's the dimension you experience. This is hidden. What you're experiencing is oil. It's oil you're experiencing. It's oil. Light is oil made manifest. The flame takes the oil, makes it manifest. So the flame is straddling. You say you see the flame, but what do you really see? Do you go put your finger and, oh, I love this candle, it's so nice. Let's put our hands in it and interact with it more closely. Is that what you do? No, you don't do that. That will burn you. It's not made for that. It is standing there as the face of the oil. This flame is the face of the oil shining on you, making the oil known to you. You don't need to enter the oil to know what's in the oil. Now you are one with the oil. If you take in that light, you're one with the oil. If you eat the fruits, you have interacted with the sap and the roots. All of them are continuous. Now when you eat it and it's in your belly, it's continuous now with your belly. You have engaged into a stream that's a never-ending stream. Do you see that? Do you see it? This is consistent. This is consistent. This is it. This is it. It's consistent. Now, this is you. The part of your life that is the root of your life is hidden. Your thoughts and imagination. Yeah? Yes. Your words and your action. That is what we interact with. That's what we enjoy. Who you are is this. Or how we experience it is this. What is intervening is called your mind. Your mind is the face. Your mind is your face. So we now have 3 phases. If we're going to talk about truth, we need to understand the architecture of all things. Then we're going to talk about truth. Because truth has to affect our lives in some way or the other, right?
Yes.
It can't be a discussion we have in the abstract and then it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Do you understand my point?
Yeah.
So my point to you is that you as a person, as a human, you are straddling 3 dimensions. You are straddling the phases of reality. That is why the world changes as man changes. I want to take you somewhere. Everyone close your eyes. Go to any city of your choice. It can be Lagos, New York, Tokyo, any city that you're familiar with. Stand on the balcony of a tall building, overlook the city, see the building, see the people. Morning, evening, afternoon, take your pick. I want you to see. City you like, a city you enjoy, that makes you happy. Stop. Come back now. Okay, open your eyes. You saw a city.
Yeah.
You saw things, right?
Yeah.
What if I told you what you were seeing? Everything you were seeing. Everything you were seeing. Or words and action. When you look over at the city, what you are seeing is words and actions made tangible. Does that make sense? If I want to change a city, then what do I need to change? What's an action? People think to change a city, you go to Tokyo, Japan, and copy their railway system. That's unfortunate. That's what Nigeria tries to do. Want to change Nigeria by copying what they're doing in Belgium. It doesn't work like that. It's like the way you say, I like the fruit of the apple. Okay, let's try to make apple. You can't. What you see, tangible, accessible, experiential in any place is simply words and actions made tangible. So the tangible world is even downstream of this. Right? That one is changing. That tangible world is changing. Buildings come down, buildings go up, roads come down, mountains are leveled, all that. Because this is changing. As this changes, that changes. You see? And this is simply that made manifest. So we're going to change our world. We're going to talk about our world. We're going to talk about anything. There is nothing we'll talk about that doesn't fit into these phases. So, as a man thinketh in his heart. So, when I said your glory idea, it sounded funny. I was just paraphrasing scripture. You're a glory idea. You're an idea. You're an idea that is able to give manifestation on earth. Do you see? So man is a very special type of creature. Very special. Straddling, and hence the confusion when man gets it messed up. You're straddling, whether you like it or not, you are interacting on the idea realm. By the way, thoughts and imaginations are simply another word for spirit, by the way. Because of spirit. I know this idea of spirit sounds very... Okay, what does the spirit do? Amen. Spirit doesn't just stay there and say, I'm a spirit. I'm looking good. That's not what it does. We know when there's a spirit at work because we see the manifestation of that spirit. Do you know that? Now, you may like or not like the manifestation.
Sorry, can you give an example?
Of what?
Because it's easy to relate with the person when you say thoughts and imagination.
Yes.
You see the person that I'm looking at, I can hear their words, I can see their actions.
Yes.
And how is that the case with these spirits?
Spirits tend to manifest through people. That's the whole idea. They don't have this structure.
Yeah, exactly.
They are not able to. So it's like you have the seed. Without the soil, you can't do anything. You are not going to eat your own seed. You have to give it to the soil. The soil will give you fruits, then you're happy. Spirits need flesh and blood. Flesh and blood is prized stuff.
So you need flesh and blood to manifest.
Yes. To manifest what is in them. Otherwise, they just go and walk. They go be building things. Okay, let's build. We don't like New York. Change New York. And so, by spirit, you mean all spirits. All spirits. So, if you want spirits, if they Nigeria's problem is spiritual, people just like this is spirit. Meaning, I don't know. It's beyond me. It's just above my pay grade. When you know the spirits operating in place, you can scan thoughts and imaginations. I know the spirit is accepting. Those spirits are ruling. Whoever is feeding you your ideas is your king. Is your king. Doesn't matter. You see, with spirits are not like, wow, you knelt down to greet me. I'm so happy. You were dancing for me. I'm so. Spirits, think about it. That's a human problem. Spirits are like, took my ideas, gave birth to my children. I'm happy. That's how you interact with the spirit. That's how you make the spirit happy. That's how you worship the spirit. That's how you love the spirit. Choose any word you want to say. That's how you want the spirit. So many people are thinking ideas, but don't realize they're not really cognizant of the fact that you're dealing with spirits here. So you accept an idea that looks okay, even sounds right. You're engaged something, and when it begins to pop out here, you don't like it. The world begins to change in a very terrible way because you are so smart, because you and the spirit are working, but maybe you are not that smart because you're engaged. That's why you want to know the truth. If you don't know the truth, spirits have been around longer than you. They have seen your type before. They can, oh, this one, remember in 1788. He thinks it's special. That one we saw, use that one you think. That one. Take a box, take him there, bring him that, and then box, and then you're not that smart. Hence, it wasn't true. Now, notice that in all of this, I am trying to avoid religious rhetoric. I am speaking reality. I am speaking truth. Anybody, anywhere in the world can engage what I'm saying now. It is just there. If you don't, okay, what are spirits, I don't know what spirits exist. Don't worry about that. You know thoughts and imagination, you know spirits. It's okay. So, you get it right, I'm serious. Just don't go around saying, get a spirit, do a spirit. Just didn't have to do that. Just ideas. You get the right ideas, you engage with the right spirit. You get the truth. You buy the truth. You buy into the truth. You engage a spirit called the spirit of truth. Questions, please. I've been going and I haven't. Okay, questions, please. Questions, please. I've said a lot, so I think I should stop here. Yes. Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
I think I'm still
On this one.
light and day.
Night and day. Light and darkness.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so what if I called it light and reflection?
Why is there reflection?
So that you can experience it.
After experiencing
You can't experience it in the raw state. That's God's way. Okay, let me give you another way. God is infinite. The infinite cannot be experienced without time. Reflection is time. Now, the seed is infinite. The seed has everything. Because God is so great, He requires the intermediation to express Himself. That's why eternity exists. Eternity, what you call perpetual time, exists because of an infinite resource pool that is in God Himself. And man is created to be the mediator of an infinite God. Hence, Scripture says it is the glory of God to hide a matter. It is the honor of kings to search it out. People think what it simply means is God is so great, His glory has to be hidden. So, how do I give you a gazillion, quadrillion trees? Capacity. If I am so big that what I can give you, you cannot take, I am not big enough. If I am truly great, I can make it that you can see. Hence the seed. But now you must start expressing it. Hence I need time to change.
So the direction is also a medium.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, hence the living eternally.
Yes.
Because from the infinite resource.
Yes. We'll come to this religious terms, eternal life, of that which we've all heard. What it really means. It We don't live forever because we are afraid of dying. We don't want to die. No. There is work to do. God created a being to live forever because it takes forever to mine out everything we need to enjoy. Child.
But, so the death is like one side.
What death?
So in terms of like dying. Like,
Which dying? I didn't say anything about dying. I never said anything. I said,
I think at
no. God created man not to die, so death is another concept.
So yeah, I'm saying the same thing. So in our concept of death, it's not really death.
No,
We live
no, that's not what I said. I know what you're saying, but that's not what I said. Let me tell you what I said. God created man, there's no death is not part of the program. So we have to understand the original idea to see what death then is. Because it's a reference to the original idea. Man is created to be a perpetual mediator, to give expression to an eternal resource that cannot be captured by any being, any creature. No creature is big enough to capture it. Yes.
Otherwise,
Cannot resolve. So
what's his glory is mine.
no. What you are doing is you are trying to understand what's going on now. I'm taking you to an original idea. Stay there. The world, the way it was, the world now are not the same. It's like sitting in water. I'm trying to talk to you. Let's say I'm trying to talk to you about the caterpillar. But I'm showing you the butterfly. And you say, okay, why? I'm like, calm down. When I explain this, you will get this. It's just a simple create, remove, and we keep going. Death is a foreign concept. It's a concept that is a concept like a nothing concept. Also, a man of many faces or something. Yes. The face, you know, I was talking earlier about your eye. Your face is your eye. I will show you something. Look at all your features. Humans have features, eyes, nose, mouth, ear, features. Such that if we remove all the features, we remove all your fingers, remove your eye, just pass it over skin. I want you to imagine, you will see something like this. Maybe head. Sorry. Like a gingerbread man. Okay, now look at that. If everybody looked like gingerbread men and you could see them, would you know which one is your sister, brother, uncle? So recognition is by features. Those features make you you. Otherwise, we only recognize a humanoid form. Now I want you to observe something. All these things we call the features are all the sense of it. So what makes you beautiful is what makes you able to appreciate beauty. Again, the design pattern comes in. Hence, your eye is your face. Your eye is your face. So when you see better, you look more beautiful. I'll leave that there.
okay.
The better you see, the better you look. You look the way you see. Corrupted vision, corrupted visage. Visage is your vision. And back to this concept of reflection. Mirror. Because God is so big, all He's looking for is who can express this, enjoy this. This is good. This is going to challenge a lot of your concepts. No, it's okay. No, you have a question.
The source is.
The source is.
I forgot what
The original.
Yeah, the original. The principal. No. Are you looking for a word?
No, I got myself.
Okay. So, when you look at the mirror, Wumi, can you see Wumi?
That's
No?
okay. Yes, I can.
Now you can see Wumi. So there are two Wumis.
Yeah.
Can you see Wumi, man? Can you see Wumi?
No.
You can't. Can you see her now inside the
Like, and you're facing the.
Used to go
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yes?
Used to
More?
come down.
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 Yeah.
Down. Help me, somebody.
Yes. There you go.
Okay, can you see Wumi?
Yeah.
Can you see Wumi?
I can see.
Yes.
You can hold it. You can help me understand it. So you can see Wumi. I need her to see Wumi.
Yes. Perfect.
You can see her.
Yes.
Can you see her here?
Yes.
And can you see her there? So there are two Wumis. There are two Wumis. Who's principal and who's?
I'm principal.
Yeah. Who's depending? Who must obey? For who's good? If she doesn't obey you, does that affect you?
No.
Now, this is the illusion. You think you're principal. I'm telling you that in reality, you are that inside the man. You. In reality, mankind is the dependent one. Inside, yeah.
Right. So God is the source.
Yes.
Right.
Source is not in the faraway sense. Source in terms of He's made you to be connected to Him. He made man to be connected to Him, but man is connected.
So we are a reflection of God.
We are made to be a reflection of God. We are made, but that reflection is that the reason darkness, the reason that people struggle with darkness is not dark, is because darkness is dark. That's your experience. That's because the world got twisted. If the world never got twisted, I wouldn't need to explain to you that darkness is not dark. Because you will not have any dark.
Like darkness is not evil.
No, darkness is not dark. You will understand darkness to be reflection. You will not know anything else. What do you know?
Yes.
You know it because your experience of the night is dark. And dark. And you will not know any. You will only know it in its original conception. It will need a new introduction of a new idea to understand that. So that the reason is that this reflection dimension is connected.
Right.
So it became dark. Hence now what's
The
in
source is
darkness.
unaffected, whether or not.
Yes.
Like the context of God and man. This is God, that is man.
Yes. This is. So what I'm trying to say is that imagine this tree here, right? And imagine the sky, heaven up there, right? If I put this pen and I throw it in there, it will come out there. It's a continuous. But what happened is man said no and man shut it off. Man shut it off. So man grew dark. So darkness, the night became dark. Yes. That night becoming dark is not drawing light anymore. Then disruption, contortion, distortion, corruption. Essentially rust. It's like introducing rust into iron. So it looks like you have iron. But I know you don't have iron. It's not just going to distort. Given time, you will have nothing. Rust plus iron equals nothing. But people are deceived in that they think because they have something that looks like iron. God is like, no, that's not the way it works. So it looks like you have parts of the truth or something to do with truth. That's why you must say, what is truth? You need to answer this question completely, clearly. Then you know that you know. Any questions from the online audience? Like I said, what I'm doing today is laying foundation. Please go back and consider what we have said. You can do these references in your Bible. You can.
Can I get a replay of that?
A recording? Yes. suspend the ideas that are fighting for now. Just relax. Yeah, relax. You know, like don't worry so much. Yes, like a child. Be ready to be wrong. Be comfortable with being wrong. Keep moving. It's better to find out you were wrong than to remain wrong. Okay. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And we went over time. Please keep your answers to these questions. I think there is a. Are we serving or people coming to serve as well? So you can help yourself to some sandwiches and stuff before you go. Again next week, same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.